The OCG recently got all their danger monsters, all their time thief monsters. They can finally play time thief now. Can't wait to see that come up in a local report. And then there was this. The OCG recently also got these in their new pack. And I want to talk about prices on these on the OCG side because, for once, America was the lucky ones. Let's dig on into a little discussion on prices across the ocean, shall we? What is up, YouTube? MCO40 here. I promised that we'd be chugging along with some interesting Market Watch segments this week, and, well, we have that. So we're going to be looking at the life and times of Nibiru and company coming out of the extra booster across Japan. Now, there are multiple ways to look at the market. Usually, I do take a look at Jackeray because it's something that we have access to as the player base, just out of general curiosity. But this is going to be a video that pretty much demonstrates what Japan is basically looking to pay for cards. Now, these card prices are going to look pretty ridiculous to you because you're going to look at this and be like, what? But I'll translate everything for you here so that you get the chance to kind of have an idea of what's going on here. So, as you can see here, we have base level Nibiru here, ultra rare, at $12.50, which is going to be about $11.56. So the good news is, while our copies are about $8 a piece, Japan is going to be pretty much paying the same thing. Now, as you can see, though, there are two printings of Nibiru. There's the ultra rare, and then there's the nice printing. And the super nice printing is literally 28 bucks here in yen. And you just look at this beauty. Look at that. Look at that hot prismatic. Like, I'm a little bit more excited for this than ours. But you're looking at basically $26, $27 on that. 26 basically for all intents and purposes. But okay, so we're looking at about $12 across the pond for these, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. I think that's pretty fair, right? For one of the best cards in the set, considering that the OCG is really in a rocket heavy format right now. So this is one of those cards that you literally counter the metagame with, because when Rocket Link starts setting up, you just go, aha, Nibiru. Like, they'll be using this card more than we are. Now, that being said though, we have Ye Olde Dark Ruler No More. Now, these are pretty interesting because literally these are about $6 a piece, $6.50, depending on what you're looking for here for your ultra rare copies, which isn't a bad thing. And then remember, they get the hot prismatic secret rares right on back at the 14 mark here, literally like 13 bucks. But they're basically reflective of what ours looks like. Almost, I think there's a little bit more of a shine and things to that. But in terms of price differentiation, okay, understand that, once again, these were the two most anticipated cards in the set for Japan. And when you're looking at these in terms of counterability and the way that the metagame has structured itself in Japan, yeah, I mean, these aren't expensive by any stretch of the imagination, but considering the way that the game is going right now, yeah, this is kind of interesting. Now, with that being said, we have our boy Dimension Shifter here. Now, I think a lot of people looking at these, looking at this card in general, I think the OCG is probably going to be playing this more of as a tech hand trap than we are. I've heard stories in the TCG here that more and more players are testing out the waters for our friend here and starting to discover that this card is good. I think we're probably going to follow suit with this, at least our side of the game versus their side. These are only $5 a piece, all right, for just, you know, base rarity. And then you start looking at, okay, 1,200 yen for one of these, $11 in terms of translations. All right, that's pretty chill, right? Like, no real loss there. But very generalized good card for the OCG. And like I said, I'm expecting the OCG to mess around with this about as much as Nibiru, because the turn 1 shut off, I could actually scratch that thought. They do have Macrocosmo and Defisher. Maybe this won't quite see as much play there. Alright. Not a lot of Time Thief redoers on the market here. This actually caught me off guard. So now that the OCG has this, they get the chance to abuse generic Link 4 kind of capitalize off of some of the format and big changes and things there. So to see that, there's not that very many listings across the region here for this. And okay, let's be honest, this thing's only like $3. Also, it looks like it didn't get another printing in the secret form, which means we're just straight across the table looking pretty cheap on this. So I'm okay with this being $3, like just straight one printing, call it a day, right guys? Like that's kind of how it works. And then this beauty right here. These are actually expensive, and these really look beautiful. Considering that these are secret rares, we have lowest listing here basically coming in $10-11, depending on what you want to pick up. But this was the exclusive for the Japanese region that they actually got for Time Thief. Still waiting on a Link Monster, still waiting on more support for this, but it was a cute little archetype idea that they did. And I mean, this is great for what they gave to the archetype. I mean, the price is reflective of it as well. But like, can we just take a moment to appreciate how nice this card actually looks in its printing? Like, man, I'm in love with the way that it looks. Like, it's just straight to the point, and the background's not complicated. Maybe I'm just a fan for the whole gear thing. All right, now the thing that we care about. Ah, man, Japan's first run of the danger cards, and this is actually pretty interesting. Seeing that we're looking at about, we're going to go the 700 yen range, which is about $6, really, depending, 650 in terms of translation. But think about these cards. This is the first time the OCG's got them. They're in rocket format right now. Think about these as combo extenders for what that deck can actually do. Nessie just putting out at literally 650. That's pretty crazy ridiculous to me. On the flip side here, our boy Tsuchinoko. This is actually interesting that this is the one that is a little bit more expensive over our friend Nessie. Coming in at that, we're going to put in the $8 mark, or 800 yen, just to be safe. You're looking at about 740 once translation's done. But this one, seeing that Nessie is cheaper than this is kind of interesting. But, I mean, oh, by the way, this is for a super rare. This isn't even for an ultra. Same thing with Nessie also being a super rare. And then our boy Jackalope being an ultra rare. Jackalope being about the most expensive. Literally his card carrying about the $14 mark post-translation. But, in terms of a secondary market here, you're telling me that Jackalope is the most expensive one on Yahoo Auctions? Because that's kind of interesting to me, at least for a player that, well, I mean, I guess. So that's the core Danger Engine. Moving on along here, we got some stray little reprints here that caught my attention. Every time I see things like this come up on the market, it's always a good thing. These are reflective about the $12 to $13 range for the market, but it's cool to see that they went ahead. Every year Japan reprints these in a set, and it's usually the extra booster, but there's just the novelty to these. They don't have any actual playability because they're not legal, but core reprint on that. And then our second core reprint here on the big Matsu no Kami, I believe it's called. But this one kind of pushing a little bit more here, which is kind of interesting because all intents and purposes, like, it shouldn't be this much. So that's kind of what's chugging along on Yahoo Auctions. Now, I had Big Web tabbed open on the side, just kind of bring this up, show a couple of things. 90,000 yen, by the way. So that's for Herakity, by the way. That is $832 for our homie Herakity. Extra pack stuff here. You see that the Danger spell card is bought out at $350. The Matsu's bought out at $10. That's interesting. $14 bought out on this. Dimension Shifter still in stock. Nibiru's straight bought out of the secret rares. The Valkyrie stuff and Bigfoot Jackalope gone. Regular copies of Dimension Shifter, Nibiru, and Dark Ruler No More still in stock. It's pretty okay. Seeing that the Valkyrie's Rift is bought out, and we still have Danger stuff in stock, which is pretty okay. Outside of that, I don't see anything too crazy here. Link Vrain set, of course, we're sold out of the sleeves for Akiza, or excuse me, for Blue Girl. I don't know why I expected to not see that. But honestly, the Link Vrain set, I've been seeing these being sold out in a couple places. That caught my attention. Outside of that, like, I don't see anything too crazy here. Good reprint on Boral Sword, though. Ye old 80 cents, literally. Man, this set just tanked for core value. And, I mean, really, outside of that, there's no, like, super, like, amazing buyouts. You know, IP Masquerina's still 10 down here. But outside of that, like, not a lot of too craziness going on in their market. At least, there are many sources, like I said, to check for things. This is just what we're checking out from Yahoo Auctions and from Big Web. So, guys, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about the OCG market. And, well, guys, catch you on the flip side. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.